This camera's way too big for trail running. Hey everybody, welcome to my local trails. First up, we gotta talk about this hat. The Chase to Summit technical trucker hats are now in stock. They finally showed up. I am super excited about them. I have a whole bunch in a big pile in my office and they're ready to ship. So go check out the link down in the description if you want to pick up one of these sweet trucker hats. It is super comfortable. It is made by Boko Gear, which is my favorite brand of hat. And yeah, this is now my go-to trail running hat. So kind of vain that I'm wearing my own logo on my head, but I'm gonna do it. Today we are exploring a little bit of my backyard. These are the local trails in my town. I'm like 5 minutes from my house. We can run a good like 10-15 miles in these trails. It's not super hilly or technical, but it's really a nice change of pace than running on the road around here. I tell you what, running on the road around here is like really dangerous during the winter months. I feel like people forget about runners and like pedestrians because they're not out as often when it's really cold or snowy out. All right, so in today's video, I want to just talk about lack of motivation in the winter months. I know I'm feeling it. I'm sure a lot of you are too. Right now, I'm doing a run everyday challenge. As part of the run everyday challenge, I've been running every day. I've got outside or on the treadmill every single day, and I've done at least 2 miles. That's been my minimum so far, which I know is kind of not that great, but it is what it is. You know, sometimes I just don't have time or whatever, but you can always squeeze in at least 2 miles. I find the hardest part about getting out the door and actually running is getting my shoes on and getting ready and actually just stepping out the door. Once I'm actually outside, everything changes. You know, I kind of forget about what I was doing and you know, it's just a lot easier. So my advice is just to at least get those shoes on, step out the door and, you know, see how far you make it. A big adjustment in my life this year and during this pandemic and all this crap that we've dealt with has been just accepting that every run's not going to be amazing. It's not going to be like up in the mountains. It's not going to be the best views, although today's pretty beautiful. And just getting out there and grinding, because if you make excuses or you just say, I don't have enough time to run that 10-mile run, you're just never going to do it. So you just got to accept it, go with it, get outside. Boy, I'm sounding motivational today. So the update to the Run Everyday Challenge, I've gotten out there in some capacity every single day. I don't even know how many days it's been so far, but I think I'm like 3 weeks in since I've started this little challenge for myself. And it's been good for me because I wouldn't have done this before. I wouldn't have done just 2 miles one day. That's just something I didn't do because I didn't think it was worth it. You kind of realize it's always worth it. Even if it's only like 10 or 15 minutes, it's still worth it. So my new process is I at least step foot out the door before I decide on how far I'm gonna run that day, or at least step foot onto the treadmill if it's that kind of day. I don't make goals for distances before I've actually started my run because I find that kind of plays a role into me trying to bail out of it. You know what I mean? Like if I'm saying, oh, that Saturday I'm gonna do a 15-mile run, and then Saturday comes and I just feel like crap and I don't want to do 15 miles, maybe I won't run at all because I just feel unmotivated. Whereas if I don't plan a distance ahead of time or like a goal, I'll at least get outside and then determine whether or not I want to do 15 miles. I'm curious to hear from you guys in the chat. What do you do to get over that motivation hump? Like if you're having a bad day and you just don't want to do anything, what do you do to actually get your butt out the door? Let me know in the comments down below. This past week has been such a grind, so I apologize for the lack of videos in the past week. My real job just got totally crazy. I had like 0 time to myself. And on top of that, my kids have been home from daycare and school for the whole week. So we've been homeschooling, real job, trying to do some YouTube stuff and kind of failing at that. But you know, it is what it is. You got to prioritize. Trail shoes and ice just don't work very well together. All right, so I had to swap out the big camera for the little camera so I could actually get my run on. And also, I had to swap out the trucker hat for a beanie because it's a little bit too cold for a trucker hat today, even though I love it so much. So the final piece of motivation to get me out the door lately is an email I got the other day from the Vermont 100. That race kind of slipped my mind. I was signed up for the Vermont 100 in 2020, and for obvious reasons it was canceled, so I was automatically deferred to the 2021 race, which is July 2021. So right now I'm like 6 months out from a 100-mile race, recovering from an injury and lacking the miles a little bit. So I've got 6 months to turn things around, get myself in the best shape of my life and go back to the Vermont 100. Back in 2019, if you haven't seen the video already. I can't do it. I'm feeling terrible right now. I ran the Vermont 100, but I had to quit at mile 47 because of heat exhaustion. It was about 110 degrees that day, and I didn't have the right calories in me or the electrolytes. My muscles were spasming, I was nauseous. It was terrible. So I dropped. But this year, I'm hoping to go back for redemption. Hopefully, we'll see. So 6 months from now, I better be in tip-top shape. So running every day is certainly helping that cause. So stay tuned for a lot more videos from me about training for the Vermont 100, because I will certainly be posting them. And I think, in the springtime, that's when things will get really serious, hopefully. Anyways, thanks for joining me on my run today. Just about 6 miles of trails in total, and pretty chilly out, but kind of refreshing. If you made it to the end of this video, make sure you whack that thumbs up button down below. That really helps me out. And while you're down there, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss more videos from me in the future. That's it for today's run. I'll see you in the next one.